For years, a small-town veterinarian spent his days quietly saving animals, never imagining that one night would drag him into a dangerous underground world. His clinic barely survived month after month, with unpaid bills stacking higher than the money he earned. No matter how many animals he treated, the numbers never seemed to work in his favor. At home, his wife tried to stay hopeful even as the pressure grew heavier, and his daughter believed her father could solve any problem. That belief became both his motivation and his burden. Despite everything, he kept working, doing the only thing he truly loved, saving lives. But passion doesn't always pay the bills. One quiet night, just as he was preparing to close the clinic, headlights appeared outside. A car stopped suddenly in front of the building. At first he assumed it was just another late customer, but when the doors opened, two men stepped out carrying something far more serious than a sick pet. They dragged an injured man who was bleeding heavily. Before the veterinarian could ask what was happening, a gun was pointed straight at him. The message was simple: save this man, or suffer the consequences. The problem was he had never performed surgery on a human before. Everything in his clinic was designed for animals. The drugs he had were meant for horses, dogs, and livestock. One wrong calculation could kill the patient instantly, but refusing to try would almost certainly cost him his own life. With shaking hands, he began the surgery. Every movement had to be precise. The room was silent except for the sound of medical tools and the nervous breathing of the men watching him. They stared at his hands carefully, ready to react if something went wrong. The tension was unbearable. If the patient died, they would blame him. Minutes passed that felt like hours. Somehow, through pure focus and desperation, the veterinarian managed to stabilize the wound. Slowly, the injured man began breathing normally again. Against all odds, the surgery worked. The criminals looked at each other in surprise. Before leaving, one of them handed the veterinarian a thick envelope. Inside was more money than he had earned in months. Then they disappeared into the night as quickly as they had arrived. At first, he told himself it was a one-time situation. But a few nights later, another car appeared outside the clinic. And then another. Word had spread through the criminal world. Soon injured men began arriving regularly with gunshot wounds, knife injuries, and broken bones. The struggling veterinarian had quietly become their secret doctor. With every operation, his skills improved. He learned how to treat wounds he had never imagined facing before. The money started piling up. For the first time in years, he could upgrade his equipment and improve his clinic. His family finally had financial stability. But the more criminals he treated, the deeper he became trapped in their world. There was no easy way out. One night, a luxury car stopped outside the clinic, different from the others. When the door opened, a tall figure stepped out surrounded by armed guards. It was one of the most powerful crime lords in the city. Even powerful men bleed, and tonight he needed surgery immediately. The operation would be the most difficult one yet. The clinic filled with armed guards watching every move. The veterinarian realized that one mistake could cost him everything. He forced himself to focus harder than ever before. Minutes passed slowly as he worked to stop the bleeding and repair the damage. Finally, after an intense struggle, the surgery was complete. The crime lord slowly opened his eyes. The entire room held its breath. Then the crime lord smiled. Impressed by the veterinarian's skill, he offered him a deal: unlimited money and protection if he agreed to work for them permanently. It was an offer that could change his life forever. But after everything he had experienced, the veterinarian made a decision that shocked everyone in the room. He refused. For a moment, the clinic became completely silent. The guards looked at each other in disbelief. Then, one by one, the guns in the room slowly turned toward him. Because in a world like this, saying no can be the most dangerous choice of all.